Hello, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about my reviews for the Temu products that I've purchased so far. So if you've watched some of my past videos, especially the Temu haul videos, I've ordered, I believe, I've had 6 orders so far, and I've gone through the unpackaging of each item. So now I'm going to tell you guys what I think of those items that I actually got, and if I would recommend for you to buy them yourself or not buy them, based off of whether you actually need it. Maybe you might not need it, but if you do need it, I'm just going to let you know what I think of the products that I bought. So the first one I got was the wireless lavalier microphone. And what I have to say about that product is that it is a good product. The sound quality was okay for what the price was. And I would say that I haven't really had too much use out of it yet because I haven't quite had the need to use it, because usually I'll just use the audio from I'm recording off of my iPhone, and I'll just use the audio from that and I'll just turn it up in editing. So I didn't really have a need to actually put the lavalier on, and it is a separate soundtrack that you have to add to your editing track. So I figured if the sound quality was good enough for the iPhone, I would just use that. And so that's what I've kind of been doing. It is a good product for the price. It's not the best sound quality, but it's decent, but I just haven't had much time to use it so far. The next one is the hair weave clips. Now the hair weave clips, I highly recommend. They're like clips, and then you attach them to like weave hair extensions, and then you kind of use it as like a clip-in extension. And I do highly recommend them, especially for people that really like clip-in extensions. You can buy your own weave and then attach the clip-in extension yourself. I sewed mine on to the hair extensions, and I've definitely taken some off, put them back on, and reused them and put them on different things based off of what I needed at the time. So I would definitely say that I would definitely highly recommend it. It did come with a lot of clips, and I didn't really need that many clips, but it was such a good deal that it was just worth getting anyway. And then out of the clips that I do use, I do find them very useful, so I definitely recommend that product. So for the next one, it was the car repair tape. So the car repair tape, I got it in black because my car is black. I don't know how many different colors they have, but my car being black and being able to choose the black tape, it was convenient and it worked for the purpose of what I needed it for. The only thing is that they don't give you a lot. They don't charge you a lot for what I got, the product I got, but they also don't give you a lot, so you run out pretty quickly. And then the tape that you get at the dollar store, which is like the duct tape, I guess you call it, the black duct tape or whatever, it's pretty much the same thing. So it's like, it is a good product, but you can pretty much get the same thing at the dollar store for pretty much the same price. So you know, it's not a bad product, but is it worth getting? Maybe if you're trying to add on something to get to a certain amount of money for your order to be able to like have the free delivery, for something like that, I would say great. But also, it's not a bad product. It's just, it's convenient and easy to just pick it up at your dollar store, and they give you a little bit more in that tape. So it's like, it's up to you whether you think it's something that you would want to get or not. And then the last thing I got from that first order was a 16-inch hair extensions. And what I have to say about that is that the actual hair was nice, but the hair extensions were way too thin. I remember I had to double up, even maybe triple up the hair extensions just to get some thickness out of it. And it just made it really bulky at the top. So I would say that, because I did get other extensions, and I got a few extensions as I went in through different orders, and then I made sure to check over time the weight of the extensions, whereas I think the first one I bought, that 16-inch, was like 50 grams, and then by the time I got like the 22-inch, it was like 95 grams. So you definitely want something heavier. And then also, if in doubt, just buy the longer extensions, because the 16-inch I felt was too short. for me personally. So if you're in doubt about which inches to go and I would say better to go a bit longer than a bit shorter or to the inch that you want. And you can always cut them if you want. I don't really cut my extensions, even longer ones, but I wanted longer and longer and longer, and I just went for the shorter ones to kind of test it out. But if you're just doing it to test it out and you know you're going to have these extensions for a while, then you might as well go for the longer ones. That's what I would say. Okay, so for the second order, my second Temu haul order, I got a silicone baking dish and a 22-inch wavy hair extensions. And the silicone baking dish, it was super small. I should have checked the measurements and then checked on my measuring tape to see what those measurements were, because I noticed that that little baking dish was pretty much way too small. It's good for like single eating loaf, bread loaf or cake loaf type of thing, but it's not, I would say, a decent size to make something that you can have multiple portions of. Like if you're trying to just make a brownie or a little cake loaf that you can basically eat that day, or maybe if you're good at utilizing and not eating too much portion at once, you could probably cut it up and like have it over a couple days or so. But for me, it was like, nah, it's really pretty much for one day, and it was too small. So later I ended up ordering a bigger one. Yes, which I will get into. And then the second thing I ordered was the 22-inch hair wavy extensions, which was a great thickness. And I actually started to make my own wig from these hair extensions that I slowly started to collect. But what I will also say is that if you want to make your own wig, I think it's better to just buy a wig. And then if you need, get a high density wig. And then if you need extra hair, get the extra hair extensions. It will probably save you money rather than just buying a bunch of hair extensions and then making your own wig, because that's what I did at first. And then the wig cap got too tight because I didn't have the right wig cap. So in the end, I had to dismantle the wig and then use them as hair extensions. And that's why I was saying I keep putting on and putting off the clips. And then I ended up getting a wig with my most recent order that I got as of this taping. So yeah, that's what I would say about the hair extensions. Okay, so for the next order, I got a wig cap, which was great. I think they gave me an extra one or two, but it was great, but it was really thin. So I don't know if you have to double it up, but also I wasn't really wearing the wig caps that much, so I didn't really get much use of it. But now that I have a wig that I just got recently, I probably will make a lot more use of it. And then the next thing was a silicone baking dish. I upgraded to a bigger one because I noticed that the first one I got was too small. So that's why I got a bigger one, and I was much happier with the size of that one. But also I noticed that it discolored pretty quickly from using it in the oven a lot, because I really put a lot of use of it. I feel like I would rather get a black one if I was going to order another one next time, because that way it won't show up the markings as much, because what I got was like an aqua green, so all the like burnt markings are very visible. I feel like if I was to get like a black silicone dish, it wouldn't be as noticeable and it wouldn't look as unsightly, I guess you could say, and worn down, I guess you could say. And then another thing I got was a funnel. It was like a little mini funnel, and when I was ordering it, I didn't realize it came with 5, but it came with 5. I've only needed to use one of them so far. It is very useful, especially with filling little bottles and stuff like that. But I would say it's definitely a great product. I just haven't fully utilized all of them. I might even give some of them away because it was so cheap, but also it's like, I don't want to just have things sitting around and not using them. So I would definitely give 1 or 2 away and then maybe use the other 2 later, but right now I'm just using the 1 and I'm very happy with it. Okay, so the other thing I got with that same order was an 18-inch closure for a hair weave, or I guess you could say, and it worked really well because I used it for the wig that I originally made, so it worked well with that. but that wig, the hair was really thick because I used so much weave hair in it. So eventually I dismantled it, so I haven't really used the wig closure since, but I feel like maybe I will use it again if I switch to wearing weaves again, but I'm not really sure. So I would say it's a good product, but it wasn't really like a long-term thing for me personally, but I can't say that it was a bad product. It was a pretty decent product. And then another thing I got was a 1/4-inch ball tripod accessory. It's like when you attach it to your tripod and then it kind of it's in between the tripod and your phone, like the phone clip, and then you can kind of move it around so you can adjust where your phone sits. The original one that I had was, the ball was plastic, so the plastic wore down really fast. So I got one that was metal, and that one lasted me a very long time. I got a lot of use out of it, and I would say I was using it like either every day or every other day, and only recently the screw started to wear down, but the actual ball and the device, like the little plastic part and that the ball sits in, still is in good condition. So I'm really happy with that product. Another thing I really like was that I ordered from that order was the 2-in-1 hair straightener. It's like there's this Temu hair straightener that was going around, and Temu had like the no-name version of it, and it actually worked very well. I did make a hair fail video because I believe my hair wasn't in the best condition to be straightening it, but it wasn't the straightener's fault. The straightener worked great. I'm happy with the straightener. It was more so the fact that I shouldn't have even really used the straightener at that time, but it's a great product. I've actually only used it once because I don't really like to put a lot of heat on my hair, but I will definitely be using it again soon, and I'll probably use it a couple of times a year, if that, either 1 to 3 times a year, depending on how things go. But I'll make sure that my hair is in the right condition to even be straightening it before I straighten it next time.